Now, I told you that the next video we were going to talk about was going to be the Washburn A20V, which was a guitar that I played for a lot of my early years with Lunchmeat Circus. And it's got a lot of history and a lot of stories behind it, how it was acquired, a little bit of information about the owner. Anyway, we're going to get to that. It's a cool guitar. He did some really cool custom mods on it that you don't see on other A20s or A20Vs or any of that A line is basically what I'm getting at there. What I wanted to talk about today is it is November 20th, which is... I guess it's an okay time to start listening to Christmas music, but today, well, the last week I've been listening to Christmas music. I love this time of year. I love Christmas music. I love the memories I have of Christmas. And I was listening to it in the car after I was on my way to pick up Geycen, and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas came on. And it got to the last verse, and it says, "Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow." And that moment kind of crushed me a little bit when I heard that line. It made me think for a second. I thought about, like, my earliest Christmas memories. It's just there's this little, like... I don't know how to phrase it any better than picking off of my family as life went on. Because the earliest Christmases, I remember being in Mendon, Massachusetts. I remember it being snowy, and I remember the whole family was there. And that meant my father, who died when I was 7. My mother, who died, in 2016. My grandmother, Mary Green, who died on my 21st birthday. Jack Eugene Green, who was my grandfather. My Aunt Ann and Uncle Dell and Auntie Diane, and at the time it was Uncle Larry and my cousins Larry, Melissa, and Ron, and my Uncle Steve. We called him Unky, and everyone was there all together for these Christmases. I remember very few of those, one in Mendon and one in Taunton. But I remember the Christmases that, after 1982, they just started getting picked apart, starting with my father, of course, and then my uncle when I was 10, and my Uncle Dell, then my grandmother, I can't remember the order, then my aunt, and then my mother, and then my cousin Ron a few years ago. And I thought about that song, and I thought about those moments of us all being together when the fates allowed. And I'm not a firm believer in fate or destiny or God or any of those things, but like the song itself had such a moving, music has that effect, you know what I mean? Like, it touches you, it moves you in certain ways. And in that moment when I was going to pick him up, I thought about that, and I thought about all the Christmases that I had with other people, and then how fate kind of picked it apart and left it with my new family, which we have amazing Christmases. I love, we all enjoy the season, putting up the tree, putting the lights on the tree, having a fire going, listening to Christmas music, watching Christmas movies. It's always been amazing for me. It just, when I hit that part of the song, I'd never thought of it that way. Through the years, we all will be together if the fates allow. And I imagine now, like, moving on to, my son Grayson just got his license the other day. So, like, he's 18, it goes so fast from, like, I remember thinking school would never end. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in school my whole life. I said it just like that. And I thought, there'll come a time when the fates won't allow me to be at another Christmas someday. And it's really, it's a bummer because I really like Christmas and I like being alive, but it's just the wheel of fate, the wheel of life, Ka moves on, Ka is a wheel. So there we are. So I got to thinking after I wrapped up that other episode, I was starting to edit it, and I was like, this is kind of a bummer, you know what I mean? I want to talk about another Christmas song. And before we get into that, I want to show you what I found at the store the other day. I went to the VABC, which is our Packy here in the South, and they had the Kahlua Dunkin' Donuts Caramel Swirl, and I was super excited to try it because, as you guys may or may not know, I love White Russians. The channel is called the Vodkast, so we're going to slap a little vodka with this, a little almond milk, and we're going to try that out
out at some point. We also picked up, there's like multiple me's here. The Skittles Gummies Fuego. The last time things like these were available was the Sour Patch Kid, I don't know if they were called Fire, and they were truly fire. They were amazing, and I don't know why they didn't last. However, I never got a chance to review them on the channel, and even though I am trying to sway away from those reviews and demos, that is something I want to do. So this is the closest I could find. Maybe if I can find my hands on an old bag, we'll add it to the thing. But the song that I want to talk about today is Santa Baby. I want to go down the list of things that this individual asks for as she's asking Santa for gifts and presents. So, mind you, this is pretty extravagant. And all she had to do was not be a complete for a year, and apparently Santa gives her whatever she wants. I apologize for my language. However, this is the insinuation of the song. All the lips I didn't kiss, what about the ones you did? You didn't mention those, did you? No, I don't think you did. So let's go down the list here, and it's not too long. The first thing she wants is a sable. Now, many of you may not know what a sable is, but it is a fur, which I am very much against because animals should keep their fur on them. They shouldn't be on humans. They should be on the animals. But nonetheless, that at the time, that was an extravagant item to ask for. Probably, maybe $100, $200, $300, fur coat. I don't know how much they cost because I've never looked into it. But that's the first thing she asked for Santa. Next, she really steps it up here. She goes for a light blue 1954 convertible. That is very specific, and it leads us into a little bit more information about the song, that it is based probably after 1954. A car back then, I don't know, maybe $2,500, $3,000 at most. I don't know. I could be way off. It could be less than that. It could be like under $1,000. But nonetheless, you're stepping it up here. You went from a fur. Now you want a car, and not just any car, a light blue 1954 convertible. No specific make or model, but just, that's what she wanted. And here we go. Let's dial it up. Let's bring it up a little bit. Now she wants a fucking yacht. Who gets a yacht for fucking Christmas? Who gets a car? Well, I mean, a car is reasonable, I guess, If you're a kid, you get your license, you wake up Christmas morning, go outside, and a rich family, can afford to buy you a nice car with a big red bow on it. It's exciting. But a fucking yacht? I mean, we're talking about billionaires at this point. So this woman is asking for things in the range of, at the time, probably, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, I would imagine. A yacht. A fucking yacht. What are you going to do with a yacht? If you already got your blue convertible car, you can go riding around. Do you need a yacht too? Jesus. I mean, I remember asking for G.I. Joe and Atari games. I never asked for, well, let's take a look at the next one here, which to me is completely unreasonable to ask Santa for, because does he even have access to something like this? She wants the deed to not just any mine, but a platinum mine. Platinum. How much is platinum worth now? How much is platinum worth then? I'll put it on the screen just so you know. Hopefully I can find those numbers. Otherwise I sound like an idiot right now. But that's just, I can understand, items. I'd like a fur coat. Okay, all right. It's a little expensive, but that's a reasonable request. A platinum mine is completely irrational, unreasonable, and disgusting. Why do you need a platinum mine? Think about all the people that are working in that platinum mine. Are you going to keep paying all those a working living wage, or are you just going to take off with the money? Because that's what I think you're going to do based on this song. Next, we'll take it down a notch. This is a strange one. You could have asked for a mansion, but you asked for a duplex. Now, are you going to rent that duplex out? Are you going to live on half of the duplex? Are you going to live in all of the duplex and just live this weird duality life where you switch back and forth? I don't know. But nonetheless, that one hit me as weird. Like, it's still very expensive, but why not just get like a mansion at that point? Maybe she's going to give that one away to like some less fortunate people. Let's hope. So moving along, she wants Tiffany's decorations. I don't know too much about Tiffany's decorations, but I do know a little bit about Tiffany lamps. And I remember my mother always wanted one, but they were ridiculously expensive. However, this is also another thing on the list that back in 1954 may have been, a lot of money back in the day. Now, a Tiffany's lamp, that's a reasonable request. I'm not gonna shit all over her because of that. And lastly, she wants a ring. But not on the phone. She wants it on her finger. Now, is she asking Santa to leave Mrs. Claus? Because this is what it seems like she's insinuating. And that kind of is contradictory to everything she said about all the people she didn't kiss throughout the year. Now she's going after Santa. And if I'm wrong, nonetheless, she wants a ring. She doesn't specify the ring, so that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, it could be just, a bubblegum ring, something you get out of a machine. But if my intuition serves me correctly, I assume she's asking for probably a diamond ring, probably some ridiculously 5-carat, 10-carat diamond ring. And I mean, is she really deserving of all of that after a whole year of just not, whoring out? I don't know. Anywho, we'll wrap it up. I'm going to send you back to the other Jay from the beginning of this video, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road. Take care, guys.
I don't know why I wanted to share that today, but that was something that I wanted to leave behind so that maybe some Christmas, 50 years from now, one of my kids or grandkids is watching this. Maybe not. Maybe YouTube doesn't exist anymore. I know I say that all the time. But yeah, just something I felt like I had to say today. So Merry Christmas to you guys. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate it with all your heart and your family and your love, because eventually the fates won't be so kind. And so till then, keep loving each other because I love you guys. Take care of each other. Be nice to each other. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, which I promise will be the Washburn A20V, and it'll have some really cool and interesting stories. Happy holidays, everybody.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.